KCAA Radio and West Coast Auto of Montclair are celebrating March Momness by finding the hottest moms of all ages and sizes in the IE. To enter March Momness, click on the March Momness banner at the KCAA website at kcaaradio.com and upload a hot picture of yourself or that fabulous mom in your life. And guys, you're invited to enter your special lady too. A group of 4 finalists will be chosen from the entries, and one of these hot moms will be crowned the champ and win a trip to the Bahamas, courtesy of Emerald Sandals Bay Resort. March Momness is brought to you by West Coast Auto of Montclair and KCAA Radio. Enter now at kcaaradio.com and enjoy the Momness. KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
Call to decision with Matt.
Race question. Severe storm. Stocks looking up. I'm Dirk Van. In North Charleston, South Carolina, a white police officer charged with murder in the shooting of a black man, 50-year-old Walter Scott. Correspondent Andrew Spencer says the incident was caught on video.
Police had said Scott tried to take the officer's taser. The video shows something fall to the ground as Scott breaks away. The video now shows him opening fire as Scott runs away.
Officer Michael Slager held without bail. The central and southern plains still reeling from yesterday's severe storms. Meteorologist John Trout says we haven't seen the end of them.
We will see an increased risk for severe weather today in the nation's midsection, Oklahoma, Kansas, portions of Illinois, with a repeat of yesterday's weather, only a little more severe today.
On Wall Street, stock futures trending higher this morning, and the standing desk is being touted by British health experts who say sitting at the office for long periods of time is linked to a host of health problems, from heart disease to diabetes. I'm Dirk Van.
Advance Auto Parts knows what makes a car guy a car guy. It's the courage to take on the greasiest of jobs, the guts to stare down the belly of the beast and replace a radiator. It's fearlessness, and it has no patience for dead batteries. That's why Advance Auto Parts offers free battery testing. And if you buy a new Autocraft battery, we'll even install it for free, so you can get back to your next big project. Advance Auto Parts, for guys who love getting under the hood.
Most vehicles, most locations. See store for details.
Shaquille O'Neal for Icy Hot.
If you've got pain, you need the patch.
The Icy Hot Patch. Powerful, targeted, fast-acting pain relief that stays put without the mess. Icy to dull the pain, hot to relax it away. In a variety of sizes, from back, shoulders, knees, even arthritis. So you're covered whenever and wherever you're hurt. Stop pain right at the source with Icy Hot Patches.
Pain's no match for the Icy Hot Patch.
For temporary topical pain relief, use only as directed.
Good morning, Inland Empire. It's time for your KCAA Morning Traffic Report. Now, I'm Carlos Gonzalez. In Corona, we have stop-and-go traffic. The 71 South is busy between Lucid Avenue and the 91. In Ontario, we have slow traffic. The 60 West is slow and go from McKinley to the 57. And in Riverside, an accident has been cleared. The 91 eastbound at Van Buren Boulevard. And that's it for your KCAA Morning Traffic Report. I'm Carlos Gonzalez. Coming up next on KCAA is On the Brink, on the station that leaves no listener behind. AM 1050 KCAA.
A local man gets a stabbing right on the 47th try. It's the Onion Radio News. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Area psychopath Doug Martin Andre told reporters today that even though he was frustrated by his first 46 stabbing attempts late last night, he was very pleased when he finally got it right on the 47th try.
I mean, I was really starting to get mad, but then, how sometimes everything just comes together? That's what it was like on Magic number 47.
Though he didn't enjoy the stabbing as much as he thought he would, Andre said he learned a valuable lesson for the future. Avoid stabbing arms, legs, eye sockets, and groin, and concentrate on the heart and neck. Good advice. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
In AgNet West today, California's economy and agriculture trade. Hear from an expert on the topics after this.
Today's high-density almond orchards create a microclimate that's favorable for diseases, even in dry weather. And once symptoms of alternaria, rust, and scab are visible, fungicide performance is compromised. Fortunately, with Quash fungicide, you can prevent defoliating diseases like alternaria, rust, and scab by spraying preventively. Quash has excellent UC ratings and delivers proven broad-spectrum protection. To learn more, talk to your PCA or visit valent.com/quash. Always read and follow label instructions.
Healthy soil can help protect your farm from drought, improve production, and protect soil and water resources. Plus, healthy soil can lower input costs, and that can lead to a healthier bottom line for your business. Contact your local Natural Resources Conservation Service office today and unlock the secrets in your soil. This message brought to you by the NRCS and this radio station.
Agricultural trade means a lot of money for California's economy.
I hate to put an exact number on it, but maybe as much as $500 million to come out of the value of exports.
That's economist Jackson Takish, and he points out there are a couple of our commodities that really push that high number.
Specifically, I think you're talking about almonds, because almonds are highly exported. There's a lot of almonds that travel overseas, and then I think the dairy markets as well.
When it comes to trade politics, he says the Trans-Pacific Partnership is very important for California and the nation.
It's a very important partnership and trade agreement that will increase the opportunities, overseas opportunities, improves the markets, reduces the friction between us and other markets for agriculture. Specifically looking at some of the trading partners with, are Canada, Australia, and those types of markets that I think could be really important for U.S. agricultural trade.
You can hear my full interview with Takish on our website. I'm Sabrina Hill for AgNetWest.com.
CNBC Headline News is brought to you exclusively by West Coast Auto, located at 5180 Holt Boulevard in Montclair, where you'll find the widest selection of the most pristine used automobiles in Southern California.
If you are facing criminal charges, your entire future is at stake. You need to act now to protect your job, your family, and your freedom. Call Wallen and Clarich at 877-4NO-JAIL. Wallen and Clarich has over 30 years of experience in fighting for our clients' rights. With local offices in Riverside and San Bernardino, we are here to help you now. Call 877-4NO-JAIL or go to WKLaw.com. How much is your freedom worth? Call 877-466-5245. The call is free. Will you be?
In a world of boring talk, misinformation, and mindless chatter, two superheroes emerge. Okay, that sounded manly.
No, you gotta be kidding me. Let's go!
The action.
Fridays just got fabulous! Here on KCAA, get ready to pour yourself your favorite beverage and kick it with Ben and Alexander right here on the Happy Hour. Every Friday evening at 6 on KCAA, 1050 AM.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Brinker.
We are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. It is a beautiful Wednesday
Hump
morning.
Day.
Yeah, hump day. I hate that word, hump day. Just, I don't know. We're getting over the hump of the week, I guess.
I do love the camel. Those ads are hilarious.
Oh, I know. That is a funny ad. It's Geico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the camel walking through the office. I love that.
Yeah. So we got Carlos Gonzalez, Carlos Cool Breeze Gonzalez in the booth today. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Trying?
Yeah. You awake?
A little, yeah. Call it a half and half. I'm there.
There you go. There you go. Well, before we get started, as I always do, I want to let everybody know all the ways you can listen to KCAA AM 1050. Of course, you can find us in the Inland Empire at 1050 on the AM dial. You can also listen to us on kcaaradio.com. If you go there, you'll find all the links to our social media: LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can also watch us on Ustream. You can find that link there too. If you have a flip phone or a home phone and you want to listen through the phone, you can call to listen at 832-999-1050. That's 832-999-1050. If you're heading into OC or LA on your way to work, listen on using the TuneIn app on your Apple device. It's pretty easy to find. You go to the App Store, search for TuneIn, download it, get it installed. It is free once you have it installed. Search for KCAA Radio, and you can listen to all of our live shows there, and all of our local shows you can also listen to on podcast. You can find podcasts for all of our shows at kcaaradio.com. If you have an Android device and you want to listen to us all the way into LA or OC, go to kcaaexpress.com and you can listen to us all the way. So I really didn't say good morning to my husband.
Good morning to your husband.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. It's middle of the week. I have a minimum day with my students today.
Oh, that's good. That means you
Yeah.
have them for 10 minutes?
30-minute periods.
30 minutes.
Students leave,
I'm just kidding anyway.
Students leave at 12:45. Teachers are in meetings until 3. So, it's meetings today. Meetings.
Whoopee-doo. Are they good meetings? Are they like...
You know what? Our administrators at my school are pretty good about not monopolizing our time. So we'll have usually one big meeting, and then we have some time to go back and do grading and do some other things, meet with our core teachers and plan and things like that. So it's usually pretty useful.
Well, that's good.
But I'm excited. Wednesday's a good day. I like Wednesdays.
Awesome. Well, there are some really good stories out there that I think we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things is we've talked about this, a lot of the issues with the fraternities, and the thing that I think captured the most attention nationwide about fraternities allegedly behaving badly was this story out of the University of Virginia.
Yep.
And as we reported earlier in the week, the Rolling Stone has now been slapped by the Columbia School of Journalism that they just handled it very poorly. And UVA fraternity now is planning legal action. Phi Kappa Psi barely let the ink dry on the scathing review of Rolling Stone's debunked rape expose before announcing that it's looking for some legal retribution, and that's according to Brian Stelter at CNN. Per statement, after 130 days of living under a cloud of suspicion as a result of reckless reporting by Rolling Stone magazine, today the Virginia Alpha chapter of Phi Kappa Psi announced plans to pursue all available legal action against the magazine. The statement further contended that members were ostracized and the frat house was vandalized, and this is according to AP. Added chapter president Stephen Scapone, this type of reporting serves as a sad example of a serious decline of journalistic standards. An expert tells CNN that though defamation suits often go nowhere, in this case, it's hard to argue that there were not tangible, recognizable reputational injuries. The story went viral. Everybody was talking about it.
We're talking about it. These guys got hosed
by
this lie, this horrible story.
Yes.
That basically failed on every level. No fact checking whatsoever.
It was gossip.
It was gossip. Essentially one person came forward, told their story, and was taken at face value. None of the facts were checked, not by the reporter, not by the editors, and they went to press. And this was not a short form story. This was a long form story. Thousands of words, multiple pages in the magazine.
And it's a magazine. It's not. If a newspaper comes out with a story, it's at least you have, there's no excuse, but they have shorter deadlines, right?
Yeah.
Because they have to print every day. Rolling Stone does not print every day.
No.
And if it wasn't ready for the issue that they put it in, they should have waited, done what was right, and put it in another issue or left it alone.
Exactly, and their reaction as they've learned of the falsehoods has been horrible every step of the way. So instead of admitting the mistakes right up front, they hemmed and hawed. They made the argument, well, in a broader sense, it speaks to a greater truth, and they just did a whole bunch.
Which is nonsensical.
Yeah, they did a whole bunch of stuff that really, I think, shows them to be extremely complicit in this bad behavior.
They over and over again, not only Rolling Stone but others said, well, something happened to her, and campus rape is happening all the time, and so this may not have been 100% correct. But no, when you're talking about rape, it has to be correct.
Yeah.
It has to be, because there's a young man or young men on the other side of that accusation that this could ruin their lives.
Yeah. The flip side of this is that nobody's lost their job over this.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, this is the other thing that people are saying, is that they've taken no steps to admit they did something wrong, or to hold the people responsible. You know, the reporter, the editors, nobody has been held accountable for their bad actions. Nobody.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And that's why this lawsuit's needed, I think, because it will force them to be held accountable.
So our nation has gone through periods of time where yellow journalism was absolutely rampant. You know, the heyday of William Randolph Hearst, we saw that. But then people got yanked back. Do you think we're heading to a place where that kind of journalism, because we're obviously in a place like that again.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll see the pendulum swing back the other way?
I hope so. I think that, you know, what's happening with journalism is that they're still trying to figure out how to adapt to this modern society with technology. And, you know, when people get their news from their neighbor on Facebook, you know, and people are constantly sort of sharing what they're seeing right now in the moment, it makes it hard. And, you know, people don't want to pay for stuff on the internet. And so they're having a hard time sort of monetizing and making money with real journalism. And so I think that the media is changing, and I'm not sure what it's going to look like. But I think at some point people are going to get tired of the gossip and want legitimate news they can trust.
Yep.
And I think that when that happens, when people reach that level, then they're going to start paying for it again. And
what do you think this is going to cost Rolling Stone?
I have no idea. You know, I'm not even sure who their readership is. It's not a magazine that I get, so I'm not sure. Is it just young people? You know, and are those people going to be offended by?
But it's not just that. I mean, it got picked up by everybody across the country.
Oh, I agree. I agree. But I'm saying, but when you talk about how's it going to affect them, I think that it has to eventually come back to their readers being turned off by this story and holding them accountable by not buying it. You know?
Well, yeah, but they're going to have a monetary. There's probably going to be damages.
Oh yeah, in the lawsuit.
In the lawsuit, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. You know, I'm not sure how you put a dollar value on what happened to these guys. You know, how do you figure out what that's worth?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's 6:15. It's time for a break. I'm Aaron Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. We got Carlos Cool Breeze Gonzalez in the booth playing some good music. Time for a break. We'll be right back.
Good news, people. The boom is back. Good times are here again, thanks to an economic boom generated by, of all things, bad times. Tens of millions of Americans have been knocked down and held down in recent years by the collapse of jobs and wages. This calamity has led to a second blow for millions of the same families, who now find themselves buried in overdue bills for credit card charges, student loans, and other consumer debt. But there's a bright silver lining in that dark financial cloud. Only, it's not for the indebted families, but for a booming breed of finance hucksters known as consumer debt buyers. Believe it or not, in the warped world of high finance, there's gold in them thar hills of bad debt. Such miners of human misery as Encore Capital Group buy bales of unpaid bills from banks and other lenders, paying pennies on the dollar. Then they unleash packs of their hard-nosed, aggressive collectors on the families. If they still can't extract payment, the debt profiteers turn to their meanest dog, the courts. Debt firms routinely file thousands of lawsuits a day against financially devastated Americans. They know that most debtors can't understand the legal gibberish in the suits, can't afford a lawyer, and can't mount an effective defense against the corporate lawyers. So, some 95% of these lawsuits produce default judgments against hapless borrowers, meaning debt buyers can then confiscate the wages of borrowers or freeze their bank accounts. This is Jim Hightower saying this boom in vulture capitalism is disgusting. But worse, it's subsidized by us taxpayers. We pay for that judicial system, the judges, courtrooms, and endless rounds of hearings. Predatory debt corporations have perverted our so-called justice system into their own subsidiary for squeezing profits out of destitute debtors.
We are ambitious. We are proud of our work. We are Kubota. With Kubota's economical MX 4800 and MX 5200 utility ag tractors, we simply get more done. Full of big features, Kubota MX Series tractors are packed with up to 54.7 horsepower Kubota diesel engines, powerful transmission options, and more. Test drive one today during the More Power to You sales event. fueling your ambition. We are Kubota.
It's time for some delicious food at Pizza Dilly. Pizza Dilly Pizza in Colton, home of the famous 2-foot pizza with 32 slices of simply the best delicious Pizza Dilly mouth-watering pizza. Pizza Dilly has all kinds of lunch specials Monday through Friday, starting at $3.99, all delicious. Stop by, refresh, refuel, have a cold drink, enjoy a tasty salad or a great specialty Dilly-licious sub sandwich, or simply Dilly-lightful Pizza Dilly wings. Pizza Dilly is also People Dilly because your friends are all already there enjoying one of Pizza Dilly's giant screens, watching one of their favorite teams, and if you love the Dodgers, you'll love Pizza Dilly, your hometown Dodger station, all year round. Come on in, enjoy a great pizza, enjoy Pizza Dilly, the real Dilly deal at 194 East Valley Boulevard in Colton, or call 909-370-0242. Once again, that's 909-370-0242.
If you are facing criminal charges, your entire future is at stake. You need to act now to protect your job, your family, and your freedom. Call Wallen and Claridge at 877-4NO-JAIL. Wallen and Claridge has over 30 years of experience in fighting for our clients' rights. With local offices in Riverside and San Bernardino, we are here to help you now. Call 877-4NO-JAIL or go to WKLaw.com. How much is your freedom worth? Call 877-466-5245. The call is free. Will you be?
Here's a look at the community calendar. I'm Di Rice. Inland Pacific Ballet will be performing at 4 different theaters across the Southland. There will be 10 opportunities to see Beauty and the Beast, so make sure you catch one of these breathtaking performances. Shows will begin April 25th and run through May 16th. Performances will be held in Claremont, Rancho Cucamonga, and Riverside. Find your show and pick your seats for Beauty and the Beast at ipballet.org. Group discounts are available, and that is a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. We are the new morning show. I guess, how much longer should I be saying new morning show?
I think at the end of the second year, you have to stop saying new.
Okay, we're not anywhere near that.
I know.
It's been like 2 months.
We're still so new.
I know. We are still
new.
We
have that fresh new smell.
The new show smell? Time to use some Febreze in your office. I'm like,
ooh.
So speaking of ew, there's a horrible story that's been going on in Corona. A teacher has been sentenced to 3 years for sex with students. Do you want to talk about that, Tobin?
Yeah, this is a horrible, horrible, horrible person. And it's not just that she had sex with one student or 2 or 3. I believe it was 5 students, actually, that she ended up having sex with. And she only gets 3 years in prison. 3 years in prison. Now, if this was a male teacher, and we talk about gender equality issues, if this was a male teacher, this guy would be locked up for a lot longer. He's a predator, right? She's a predator.
Yes.
This is not an isolated event. This is a woman who's got deep problems and needs to be locked up and kept away from kids. The article starts with some quotes from the moms, and I just want to share these. The mother of John Doe number 1 recounted everything she did to keep her son safe in the community and at school, but the child predator was inside the gate at Centennial High School in Corona, she said. John Doe number 2's mother wore orange, the color she said convicted former teacher Summer Hansen may wear in state prison when she serves a 3-year term for unlawful sex with underage teenage boys, including John Doe number 2's son. John Doe number 3's mother echoed the other mothers in Riverside County Superior Court on Friday in saying the teacher violated the trust of parents and their sons. I'll be praying that you will be taking responsibility for your actions and be repentant, she said. The press enterprise routinely does not identify victims of sex crimes, and therefore, to protect the identity of the victims in this case, their mothers' names are being withheld as well. For reasons I will never understand, she decided to become a predator, said Judge Becky Dugan, who sentenced Hansen Friday after the defendant pleaded guilty in February to 16 felonies in a plea to the court.
And we don't need to talk about each one of the felonies, but
no.
let it suffice to say that she did all the things that you might imagine.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And it's despicable. And the thing about it that that strikes me is we're seeing so many of these cases, and most of them are women.
Yep.
They're women that are being sex offenders. I'm like, how do I say this? They're the women who are being predators, who are the predators with these young boys.
Yeah. And I don't understand, has it always been this way and it just wasn't reported before? Is this a new phenomenon? I see people, wanting to make excuses when it's a woman. They'll say, oh, well, maybe she had some sort of mental problems or whatever, and I don't know. I think they're predators. I think that just like a man, these women are predators, and they need to be treated the same. She says,
I'm not a monster. I've made bad choices in life, and for that I'm truly sorry. Yeah, you've made horrendous choices. You didn't make a choice to, drop out of school and go backpacking in Europe for a year. You made a choice to sexually assault 5 young men.
Yeah.
The men that were at, boys, they're teenage boys, who were in the school where you were a teacher. You violated that trust. And the thing about it, it casts a shadow over the entire school.
Yeah.
So we have friends who teach at a school where something similar happened, and I don't want to bring more attention to that school. They've already had enough attention. And it affects the entire campus. It affects because, everybody says, well, why didn't the principal know? Why didn't the other teachers know? What was the talk? How could they allow this? And all of a sudden, the bad behavior of one teacher becomes this blanket that covers all of the teachers. And high schools are big places. There's lots of people, lots of different departments, lots of things going on, and that's completely unfair.
Yeah. What's interesting, too, is a few years back at the school that I teach at, there was a male teacher who was caught. Now, he wasn't involved with students at the school. He was doing it outside of the workplace. And if you'd asked any of us, I think everyone would have said, no way. I mean, it's these people that do these things are really good at hiding what they do.
Right.
They know what they're doing is wrong. They know that it's illegal, and they do it anyway.
Well, and here's the thing, too. People will also say, well, didn't you do background checks? Well, background checks can't check you for something you haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And so the background check is only as strong as a criminal record, right? And so if you haven't been caught or you haven't committed the crime yet, there's no way to know.
Yeah. Anyway, every time I see a story like this, it just breaks my heart because people begin to develop perceptions of teachers as a profession when you see multiple stories like this, and it's similar to, like, I think what happened with the pedophile priest in the Catholic Church, that, you get enough of these stories out there and people become very wary, very suspect of the people who, they need it. In order for teaching to work, you have to have a relationship based on trust.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think the bonds of trust are breaking down in a lot of ways, and these stories are not helping.
No, they're not
helping at all.
So shame on Summer Hansen.
Yeah.
I know she probably thought she was having fun. She was 32. I think she's 32 now, actually. And the picture in the story shows her with brown hair, but she used to have blonde hair, and I'm sure she loved the attention and all of that. Aren't I cute? These teenagers like me, but she fundamentally misunderstands the nature of the relationship.
Yeah. And here's the thing, I've been teaching for 20 years. Sometimes when you look at some of these young people, just their physical appearance, it's easy to get confused and think they're adults.
Yeah, but then they open their mouths.
And, I think one of the things that helps too, and I don't know if, I'm assuming she's a single woman or doesn't have kids of her own. Once you have kids of your own, I think you have a much more heightened sense of how protective you need to be of these kids.
Yes.
It changes the way you think about them once you have kids of your own.
Well, I want to talk about a heartwarming story.
Let's talk about a heartwarming story.
So Joel Berger and Ashley King are 2 college sweethearts from New Berlin, Illinois, and they've known each other since kindergarten. Well, they just got engaged, and Berger is a grain inspector, and King is a graduate student. Last week, the State Journal-Register announced the couple were getting married, and the announcement was Berger-King Wedding, and apparently the corporate office of Burger King, they noticed. Burger King set up a Skype call with the couple to congratulate them and then dropped the bombshell that Burger King was going to pay for the whole wedding. So when Burger King Corporation heard about the happy Burger King couple, we felt an overwhelming urge to celebrate their upcoming marriage. It's the coolest thing ever. And so I got this from BuzzFeed, and you see these pictures of these shots of the couple from Skype. And so maybe although they BuzzFeed postulates maybe they'll name their first child Chicken Fry. Gosh, I hope not.
Well, I'm thinking Burger King's paying for the wedding, but the king has to do the ceremony.
Oh,
right? Their
no,
creepy,
no,
their
not the creepy
the
king.
creepy
No,
king
not the
mascot.
creepy king.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope they get a different mascot. That one's off-putting.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it really. Yeah, it really is.
Burger King wedding.
So I want to know:
Wow.
is Burger King going to cater the wedding?
Yeah, right.
They're going to have Whoppers for your guests.
That's right. Whoppers for everyone. Let them eat burgers.
Well, I have to say, Burger King used to put out like a really good charbroiled burger,
Yeah.
and I haven't been there in years, but
Yeah.
their quality was not
The local
consistent.
one that we were going to, yeah. And you worry because they're franchises, and you don't want to judge them too harshly by maybe one restaurant. But the one that we were going to, the quality wasn't great, so
No.
we kind of stopped going.
Yeah, we kind of did. So that and the fact that we got to stop eating fast food. So
Exactly.
Well, it's 6:29. It's time for a break. Up next, after the break, we'll be talking to Dr. Ann Vericel. She is the executive director for the San Bernardino Symphony. They have a concert coming up and all kinds of great things going on.
I love the San Bernardino Symphony.
I do too. So I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. We will be right back.
Hey, this is Steve Sanchez, and do you know in 2007, I went off to the doctor for a basic checkup, and he informed me, Steve, you got plaque built up around your heart, and you're going to need stents. I informed him, with no offense, doc, I need a second opinion. I go off to a naturopathic doctor, and he introduces me to something called Zango. It's a juice made of the whole mangosteen fruit. You know, the mangosteen fruit has been used for centuries for healing. So, hey, what do I have to lose? I tried it. 3 months later, I go back to my cardiologist, no plaque, no stents, and I'm proud to say 7.5 years later, I'm stent-free. I want to turn you on to Zango because it's the only true 100% mangosteen fruit juice. It's patented. In fact, the Mayo Clinic is paying attention because they're doing an extensive study because they cannot ignore all the testimonials around the world. I want to give you a free sample of the Zango juice today. Simply call 888-309-5656. That's 888-309-5656 for your free mangosteen juice sample today from the company called Zango.
If you are facing criminal charges, your entire future is at stake. You need to act now to protect your job, your family, and your freedom. Call Wallen & Claridge at 877-4NO-JAIL. Wallen & Claridge has over 30 years of experience in fighting for our clients' rights. With local offices in Riverside and San Bernardino, we are here to help you now. Call 877-4NO-JAIL or go to wklaw.com. How much is your freedom worth? Call 877-466-5245. The call is free. Will you be?
Some people want to deny climate change. Fact is, our air has not had this much carbon for millions of years. There is one thing that can reverse it. I'm Elaine McFadden with Smart Health Talk. Tune in Thursday, 4 p.m. and find out how to save us all on KCAA 1050 AM.
Hi, this is Mark Westwood, Operations Manager of KCAA 1050 AM. For years, many of you, our listeners, have trusted the expert delivery of your weather forecasts from Rod Tanner, just part of WeatherBug's weather team we use here at KCAA 1050 AM. Rod and his family lost their house, including all of their possessions, in a devastating fire the other night. Everything was a total loss. Thankfully, no one was injured. It just simply was a loss of all of their material possessions. So we're starting a fund, and we're setting it up in their name at GoFundMe.com/Rod Tanner to donate. That's GoFundMe.com/ spelled RODTANNER. Any help will be gratefully appreciated. $5, $10, any amount you can offer will be a blessing for this family so much in need. We here at KCAA 1050 AM will be keeping you updated on the results of your giving and hope Rod returns to the weather mic soon. Again, please go to www.gofundme.com/Rod Tanner to help one of our very own. And thank you from KCAA 1050 AM.
Listen to KCAA Loma Linda for less confrontation and more information.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. Up next, we have Dr. Ann Vericel. She's the executive director of the San Bernardino Symphony. Welcome to the show, Ann.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. This is early. How do you people do this?
Yeah, lots of coffee. I have my coffee sitting right next to me. Do you have a cup in your hand?
I do not, but I plan to very, very soon.
And I don't need coffee. I just sit next to Erin, and her energy just lights me up.
Aww.
You guys are just absolutely adorable. I have not heard this before because it is way too early for me. I promise to wake up in the future and listen to you guys. You're just terrific.
Well, you'll have to catch our podcast. You can get the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
That's true.
That's good any time of the day.
So tell us about the concert on Saturday.
Well, it's going to be terrific. It's the fourth of our 5-concert subscription series this season. And it's kind of a traditional one. You know, this year we've tried to combine both popular and more traditionally classical music. Because we did the first one, which was like a very heavy classical music, but very virtuosic pieces, and then we did the Christmas and Hanukkah and holiday one, and then we did the Musical Genius in America, where we had jazz and ragtime and all sorts of interesting pieces all put together. And then this one is a little bit more traditional. We've got some Beethoven, we've got some Brahms, and we've got some Mendelssohn Bartholdy as well. And so it's kind of our take on the 3 Bs. We're leaving the Bach out of this one. We'll bring it in a couple of concerts. So it's really going to be neat because what we've done to, I don't want to say elevate because this type of music doesn't need any level of elevation, but what we've done to bring in a wider audience is to add an additional orchestra in a 3-concert performance, and also to add a multimedia aspect to one of the pieces we're playing, the Mendelssohn Scottish Symphony. So the second orchestra is Symphonie Jeunesse. And I don't know, are you guys familiar with them?
I am. They are amazing.
They are. The first time I heard them was actually on a stage at the California Theater. They were playing a matinee for the symphony, and I thought it was the symphony, and that's how good they sound. There's about 35, 40 of them. They're all high school students, ages and thereabouts, ages 12 to 20, I believe, is the full group. And they all play strings, and they are just absolutely amazing. So they're going to be coming in at about 6:30 and doing a concert that will go about 7:15 up in the California room. So with your regular ticket for the concert, our concert starts at 7:30. So with your regular ticket for that, come an hour early and hear Symphonie Jeunesse play as well, and then descend the stairs and hear the full concert. Also upstairs will be a couple of the young artists that participated in the interpretive painting for the Scottish Symphony. What we did was we got together with a local artist, and her name is Michael Madison. Are you familiar with Michael?
I'm not, actually.
Oh, you have to go on her website. It's Michael Madison Art, I believe. But it's Michal, Madison, traditional spelling. And just Google her, and you'll see her work. It's absolutely beautiful. She has a wonderful interpretive process where she taught the kids to think about the emotional space your head goes in when you're listening to a particular piece of music. And we provided them in 3 different schools. We did a bunch of workshops, and we provided the kids with background information on Mendelssohn, who was kind of an interesting guy, and the historical context for the piece, and all sorts of other info, and links to the music. They listened to the music in class, and I have to tell you how impressed I was with their art teachers who said, we will make this a part of the classroom study. It's not just, oh, you're coming in and this is something fun they can participate in addition to everything else they do. They actually made this a part of the classroom study. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's really neat. So we're going to be picking up the final pieces today and tomorrow. We've already received quite a few. And a couple of those students have elected to also participate in a reception on their behalf, which will take place at the same time as the Symphonie Jeunesse. We have Symphonie Strings coming out, so Symphonie Jeunesse will be performing. So they'll be at one end of the room, and the artist will be at the other. But in addition to seeing their pieces, their interpretive pieces close up, you'll also be able to see all of the pieces that we collected while we play the Scottish Symphony. So you're going to come at 6:30. You're going to listen to the wonderful Symphony Jeunesse concert. They're under the direction of Michelle Takia, and she's just the most amazing cello player ever and a super nice lady, and been involved in a school. She and her husband Michael have been involved in schools and teaching forever. And anyway, you're gonna come hear that. You're gonna go downstairs at 7:15. We're gonna open the show with Beethoven's Egmont Overture. The name may not initially resonate with you, and I have to admit it doesn't with me. I see so and so's seventh something, and it doesn't mean a thing. And then I heard the first three sounds of the first three notes of the piece, and I know exactly what the music is. Do you ever do that?
All the time.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, especially growing up, often, now I grew up around classical music, but the stuff that I remember is the stuff that was played on cartoons and played in movies and played in, and so some of these pieces are actually very famous. We just don't know what they're called.
Exactly. They didn't give them these brave names where you can hear the name and tie it to something. They're numbered generally in the order they were published. And so they're going to play the Egmont Overture. You'll hear the first three notes, and you'll know this piece. It's rather a short piece, but it's very good. And then we'll go right into the Mendelssohn-Bartholdy Symphony No. 3, the third piece he's published, which is called the Scottish Symphony. It was inspired when a then 20-year-old Mendelssohn went wandering through the Scottish countryside with a friend of his. They went on a walkabout, and they saw this old, what do you call that? Like a monastery, but I believe I have that wrong, but it's like a monastery. And it was in quite bad repair, but just the location of the place, the fog on the moors kind of thing, and the way that the old beat-up building looked was just extremely inspiring to that young man. And he began writing the Scottish, what would become the Scottish Symphony. It took him about 8-10 years to finish it. He never really liked what he did. But and you can see when you hear it, it's in 4 movements, that there are, the 4 movements are not disjointed, but they're definitely 4 pieces, which I think rather brings interest to it. I didn't grow up in a home where we listened to classical music. My parents liked show tunes and Mantovani and Mancini, so I can do any of their music from memory. But sometimes classical music eluded me, and the long pieces that did not have breaks between movements, sometimes that would elude me in its interest as well, particularly when I was younger. I think now that I see it done up close, it's so different in person. That I appreciate it much more, but back then I didn't, and I liked the pieces where there was maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes of a particular movement, because I could get into the movement, and then it had its denouement, and it was done, and I went on to the next movement. And this is kind of one that does that. But I have to tell you, when the Scottish Symphony premiered, it was not incredibly well received. The critics basically said that unless it's done by an equally matched cellist and violin player, it just isn't going to be done well enough. It's too difficult. And, current American audiences, we like to hear those virtuosic, difficult pieces. So
we do.
I think it's going to be great. And we've obviously matched 2 amazing musicians. Our concertmaster, Toto Pellev, is taking the violin part, and our principal cellist, Anna Maria Maldonado, is taking the cello part.
It's going to be fantastic.
It is. They played it, just them and a piano player, at the Loma Linda Vespers service a couple of weeks ago. Not as a practice, because obviously you wouldn't use something important like that as a practice, but to see how they would blend together in front of an audience. And I was there, and I was so lucky to be there. It was absolutely amazing. I was enthralled from the first note all the way to the end. So I asked Toto about it after. I said, that was so wonderful. I can't wait to hear it with the whole orchestra. He says, it's going to sound different with the orchestra. So I'm excited to see the interpretation with the full group.
Now, we have to take a quick break. Can we hold you over till we get back?
Sure.
Awesome. Well, I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are talking to Dr. Ann Vericel, who is the executive director for the San Bernardino Symphony. Got to take a quick break here on KCAA AM 1015. We'll be right back.
We are producers. We are crafters of quality hay and forage. There's an art to harvesting the best hay and forage, and it starts with the right equipment. From dependable disc mowers and mower conditioners to efficient rakes and tedders, round balers and bale wrappers, Kubota has engineered a full line of field-proven hay tools you can trust to perform season after season. Visit your local Kubota dealer today during the More Power to You sales event for low-rate, long-term financing. For all your hay tool needs, we are Kubota.
In the time you've spent listening to this radio spot, you could have completed and submitted an entire expense report with a simple picture of your receipt. That's all it takes for you to get back to work and for your business to run more efficiently. To learn more and discover all the ways Concur helps manage your company's expenses, just go to tryconcur.com for a free test drive.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that dropping out of high school was my decision, but as a single mom, that decision affected more than just me. To set an example, I had to be the example. I found a free high school diploma program at Learn for Life that fits around my busy life. I have a team of teachers, tutors, and counselors that really care. I learn at my pace in an environment that is safe and comfortable. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
If you are facing criminal charges, your entire future is at stake. You need to act now to protect your job, your family, and your freedom. Call Wallen & Clarich at 877-4NO-JAIL. Wallen & Clarich has over 30 years of experience in fighting for our clients' rights. With local offices in Riverside and San Bernardino, we are here to help you now. Call 877-4NO-JAIL or go to WKLaw.com. How much is your freedom worth? Call 877-466-5245. The call is free. Will you be?
1050 AM. Don't forget that number. And for you young people who got here by accidentally fat-fingering your FM band selector, we're an AM radio station. And AM refers to more than just the time of day.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. We're continuing our discussion with Dr. Ann Varicel, the Executive Director for the San Bernardino Symphony Orchestra. So in addition to your concert this coming Saturday, I know that the Symphony does tremendous work with the San Bernardino City Unified School District. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. They have been just such a wonderful partner with us. Our mission at the Symphony, well, actually we have this beautiful, long, wonderfully written mission, but what it basically breaks down to is accessible music and music education. So by accessible music, we mean it's music you want to hear, it's easy to get to, it's right, we perform right in the middle of downtown San Bernardino at the historic California Theater of the Performing Arts at 562 West 4th Street in San Bernardino, with free lighted parking across the street, might I say. And I so much prefer going there than going out to LA or Orange County or whatever.
Absolutely.
Right off the freeway. I feel safe down there. I'm not going to be bothered by anyone. No offense to anyone that might want to bother me. They're not up now listening to you anyway.
No, they're sleeping it off somewhere.
They probably are. But I love going there. It's such a beautiful building. So it's music you can get to, music you want to hear, and music that's affordable. We don't raise our prices. We haven't raised our ticket prices for years and years. Our single tickets remain starting at $10 for students, less expensive than going to the movies. So that's the accessible part. And then the music education is the other half of our mission, which means that half of our strategic efforts must be put into, if we're going to stay on our mission, making sure that audiences of tomorrow are being built through building interest in orchestral music and participation in the arts. It just builds a better community, as well as, you want to obviously have audiences for years to come, but you're building a much stronger, more culturally aware and literate community. And so we have worked with the San Bernardino City Unified School District and their 70-plus, I believe, schools for many, many years. Our docent program, which introduces orchestral instruments to the third graders who may be studying them the next year, because in the San Bernardino City Unified School District, you can study music. That is part of the regular school program. Our docent program has introduced over 100,000 students the instruments of the orchestra. You do not get this in a lot of other places. And what they do is they go in with the orchestra petting zoo, as it were, and they demonstrate the instruments, and the students can hold and touch and try out some of the instruments and get an idea of whether or not this is something that might really resonate with them and be exciting for them to study in the following year. And then in the fourth grade, they can begin to study. So if they choose to do so, they may well receive a visit from our musicians, our professional symphony musicians, who go out and work with all of the fourth and fifth grade courses for the students, whether or not they're participating in a music program. And they do a workshop with the students right there at their school. And they teach them about performance. They teach them about working in teams, the benefits of practice, which is one of the main reasons the kids that participate in arts programs, particularly music programs, do well later on. We kind of look at that correlation between arts and doing well in school, and we say, well, kids that participate in the arts are obviously of higher economic standing, and therefore they can do well in school. And that has, I'm sure that has something to do with some things in some cases, but it's the practice and participation in the music that makes kids of all economic standings be able to do well in school. Because what do we learn when we start to play an instrument? We learn that initially we're not so good.
Yeah, it's true.
We learn a few things, and then we sound better, and we practice, and then we do better. And isn't that the same way with any type of art studies? So kids that are participating in arts and music programs, just like we used to say, well, that fellow gets in trouble, so let's get him and her into a sports program, because if they're doing sports, they're going to do better in school. It's exactly the same thing. You study more, you apply yourself more, and amazingly, or not so, that translates to other parts of your academic experience. So we feel very honored to be a part of the program in the schools where we can truly affect lives through the arts. Another thing that we do is to have the annual student concerts. And this year, for the first time, we had 2 back-to-back student concerts, which meant that there were over about 3,400 total students in the, in 2 concerts at the California Theater. It only holds 1,725, so we had to do it in 2. From all over the school, some schools, Hardy Brown Prep, every student and teacher attended. They closed down the school. They sent them over, and they attended.
Wow.
It was amazing. It was on February 6th in the morning. It was our Musical Genius in America concert, the one I alluded to previously, that had the ragtime and the jazz and classical, and it was just amazing. It was, there was 4 different genres of music played, and the kids got to hear that. We worked with them ahead of time, providing information to their teachers about the composers and the historical context of the pieces, and the location, because it is a National Register of Historic Places site, and about the symphony and about what to do with the symphony. So they were all prepared and ready to go. They knew when to say bravo and when to clap and who was playing what pieces and all of that. And it was just absolutely amazing. So we get to provide these free concerts to the kids and their teachers, and work with them at the schools. May 9th, we're doing our Symphony String program, and that is a half-day workshop. It's held at the beautiful Sturgis over a little west of downtown. And we'll be hosting, we're hoping at least 100 serious string players from middle and high school.
Oh, that's great.
We've got an extra, so you're going to have 4 symphony musicians working with them, doing workshops, kind of rotating around doing workshops.
So
Michael usually comes out and talks to them as well. It's just a wonderful, amazing day.
If I can interrupt just for a second, I want to put you on the spot.
I get excited. I just
couple years ago, and I know you guys normally primarily work with San Bernardino City schools, but a couple years ago they had a few extra slots. We have a strings program at my middle school where I teach in Rialto, and we were able to sneak a few of our Rialto kids into that strings event that you're doing at the Sturgis. And so if I just want to put a little plug in here for Frisbee Middle School, if you have any extra slots and you want to get a couple extra kids in, we do have a wonderful strings program over at Frisbee, and I'm sure our kids would love to be a part of that too.
This is great because we would love to have you. We often have participants coming from Kcaa-On Middle, and they're in Rialto, right?
Yep.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. One of our symphony board members, Judy Nolan, is a teacher there, and she always lets us know that there's kids that are available. If there's kids that are available, we want to be there for them. So please, I will send Erin over the sheet to go home with the kids and it explains the program and the time and the whole thing.
Awesome.
And because we would love to have that. The bigger the group, the better. I want to have to, use up every penny that's been donated towards this event in making sure that we have all of the kids covered.
So how do people, speaking of donations, how do people get involved? How do they buy season tickets, and are the season tickets for next year on sale? And then how do can they volunteer? Can they donate? How can they get engaged?
That's about 9 questions.
I know.
I'll give you as many of the answers as I can remember. In order to purchase tickets at any time, you can always call our Judy in the box office, and you can reach Judy at 909-381-5388. That's 909-381-5388. And that's our regular box office. If you want to purchase with cash prior to a concert, you can come to our office and meet Judy in the box office. And our office is not at the California Theater. That's the area that we rent to perform 5 performances. We also perform all over the place as well, but that's the 5 subscription performances. Our office is at 198 North Arrowhead on the southwest corner of 2nd and Arrowhead. It's a long brown building. It's a personal conference center. Come to the door. Sherry will ring you in. Come down the hall, see Judy, and she will take your money. So we can do that. We can also get you set up with season tickets. Next year, our season begins on October 3rd with a Latin American concert, something we have not done. It's going to be fabulous. It's called Mosaico Latino. I do not say that nearly as beautifully as our president, Judith Baez, does, but it's going to be a beautiful concert. We've got that one. We've got, oh goodness, we have a patriotic concert. We're bringing back the holiday concert.
Ooh, good.
I'm so excited. And we're kind of taking a round-the-world theme with that, so it's going to be really beautiful. So we have that one in December, the holiday concert in February, and 2 beautiful traditional classical concerts following in March and May. And the performers we have this year are all amazing. I hate to say they're really cute, but they're really cute. We've engaged.
Hey, that helps. It does.
No, I don't think it hurts. We've engaged 4 absolutely amazingly talented young gentlemen that will all be playing. We have Rufus Choi playing piano in March, and we have Ruslan Berikov, everyone's favorite Russian cellist, in May. We have Will Hagen. Oh my gosh, he's so amazing, but he's a prodigy. He is playing in October in that first concert, the Latin American concert. We also have a tenor coming. Gustavo Hernandez is coming to sing a few pieces in that concert, so that's going to be amazing. So we have a really, really great season coming up. The season tickets will be sent to you in the next couple of months, but they will be on sale for purchase probably the middle of this month. We're just into the last portion of getting the brochures printed, and once those are done, we plan to mail those out, and those will probably be mailed out within the next 2 weeks.
Wonderful.
So if you're interested in being part of the distribution for that, you can give us a call again at 909-381-5388. We'll add you to the list and make sure that you get the brochure and you can participate. Oh, something exciting about the upcoming season. We have always offered single tickets and tickets for the full season. But some people can't go to all 5 concerts. And even though we do say if you're a season subscriber and you can't make it for a concert, just let us know. We'll get your tickets to somebody else. Many people just donate them. But we'll give you 2 extra tickets for the next concert. That's part of being a subscriber. This year, we also have a 3-concert option for folks that, yeah, isn't that kind of fun?
That's great.
You're still saving a little money. You're locking in the availability of your seats for the 3 concerts of your choice. And obviously, you can add more later on if you so desire, but we have that option for you as well. So the season will be available very shortly. By the end of the month, I would imagine it will be half sold. So if you are interested in doing that, please do let us know as soon as possible. You can also find out a little about the season right now at our website, which is www.sanbernardinosymphony.org.
Well, Anne, it has been fantastic having you on. There's so many things going on at the Symphony, and right here in San Bernardino. Symphony's been there for, 85 years?
This will be our 87th season.
87?
Wow. 1929 is when Jimmy Guthrie started it.
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, this is wow, that's a long time. That means that the 90th anniversary is right around the corner, so we should have a big party.
We should.
Any excuse to party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
would you take that responsibility as a board member?
We'll talk.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us today. We are completely out of time here on KCAA AM 1050. Thank you so much for our listeners for spending Wednesday morning with us. We hope you have a wonderful and productive Wednesday. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we've been talking to Dr. Ann Baricel from the San Bernardino Symphony. Have an absolutely wonderful day, everybody.
KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station, where your business comes first.
Rain. Facing more of the same today, meteorologist Pedram Javahiri.
Large damaging hail in the forecast. Also, powerful wind gusts and tornadoes. And the threat really enhanced now across portions from OKC out towards St. Louis. About 11 million people live in that zone.
The white South Carolina police officer facing murder charges in the shooting death of an apparently unarmed black man who was running away from him. Correspondent
North
Mary
Charleston
Maloney.
police officer Michael Slager is behind bars, charged with murder for the death of Walter Scott. If convicted, the former Coast Guard member could be sentenced to life in prison.
The shooting caught on video, prompting questions on whether race played a role. Wall Street higher in early trading despite another downturn in oil prices. And Americans are running up the red ink. Consumer borrowing climbing to a record high in February, $15.5 billion, driven by a large jump in auto loans. I'm Dirk Van.
Advance Auto Parts knows what makes a car guy a car guy. It's the courage to take on the greasiest of jobs, the guts to stare down the belly of the beast and replace a radiator. It's fearlessness, and it has no patience for dead batteries. That's why Advance Auto Parts offers free battery testing. And if you buy a new Autocraft battery, we'll even install it for free, so you can get back to your next big project. Advance Auto Parts, for guys who love getting under the hood.
Most vehicles, most locations. See store for details.
Shaquille O'Neal for Icy Hot.
If you've got pain, you need the patch.
The Icy Hot Patch. Powerful, targeted, fast-acting pain relief that stays put without the mess. Icy to dull the pain, hot to relax it away. In a variety of sizes, from back, shoulders, knees, even arthritis. So you're covered whenever and wherever you're hurt. Stop pain right at the source with Icy Hot Patches.
Pain's no match for the Icy Hot Patch.
For temporary topical pain relief, use only as directed.
Good morning, Inland Empire. It's time for your KCAA Morning Traffic Report. I'm Carlos Gonzalez. In Corona, we have stop-and-go traffic. East is slow from Madison Street to Central. 71 South is busy between Pine Avenue and the 91. In Moreno Valley, we have stop-and-go traffic. The 60 West is busy between Pigeon Pass and the 215. And in Chino, we have slow traffic. The 10 West is slow and go from Central to the 57. And that's it for your KCAA Morning Traffic Report. I'm Carlos Gonzalez. Coming up next on KCAA is Best Stocks Today with Bill Gunderson on the station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050 KCAA.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, we've got sunny skies on a high near 69. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 47. Sunny on Thursday with a high near 74. Thursday night, mostly clear, low near 50. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 74. Friday night, partly cloudy, low near 50. Saturday, mostly sunny.